47 more days until Sarah Palin's 400-page word salad hits bookstores. But Going Rogue has already gone to the top of the bestseller lists also. And while the unemployed Alaska blogger proves she can finish something, in our third story, the problem now is her co-author, a right-wing partisan whose targets have included the separation of church and state, and whose faults have included the separation of what she writes and reality. Those expecting Going Rogue in American life to be all sunshine and moose pelts, meet Palin's co-author Lynn Vincent. Vincent's body of work includes a co-author of General William Boykin's memoir, the same William Boykin who said his God was bigger than a Muslim terror suspect's God, comments from which even President Bush distanced himself. And in a book called Donkey Cons, Vincent describes the Democratic Party as pro-gangster and the party of treason and subversion. Politico reporting that Vincent's work at the Evangelical World magazine, quote, includes a description of President Obama as the minority survivor of the black genocide, that is, abortion. Meanwhile, the Palin memoir is currently #1 on the Barnes & Noble bestsellers list, as well as Amazon's, but not all book enthusiasts are eagerly pre-ordering.
The part I'm looking forward to least is some of the disagreements that took place within the campaign.
Wow. And the senator has company. The owner of an Anchorage bookstore remarking, not a single customer has asked about it. I don't know what that means. Maybe we're all going rogue, going all mavericky. Joining me now, MSNBC political analyst Richard Wolff, also senior strategist at Public Strategies, author of Renegade, The Making of a President. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
What does Palin's selection of this co-author, Lynn Vincent, tell us about what kind of book this either is or will be, just in case she hasn't finished it yet?
Well, I know from my own experience of co-writing books that you need to have a sort of mind meld with your co-author, and Sarah Palin has done something extraordinary again, which is to find someone just as irrational and hopelessly partisan as she is. The hard thing, look, it's fine if you're selling books to the base, but much tougher if you're trying to reach out to, say, some independent voters who may have voted pro-gangster at some point in their lives. But more than that, how does Lynn Vincent, for all her obvious writing skills, marry up with the writing style of Sarah Palin, the great poetic genius of Tweeterland in the north, who said, after all, no rain, no rainbow? The McCain point we heard there about what part of the book he is anticipating it will be his least favorite. How far do we expect Palin to really throw him under the bus to sell this book and to sell herself for 2012? And is there a way of overdoing that where it winds up rebounding against her? Well, I was talking to some, we'll call them campaign operatives, veterans from the Republican side, who are fully expecting this to be all about the score settling, at least the headlines coming out of the book, to be about the score settling, about how there were all those evil McCain handlers who stopped Palin from showing her true genius, the great American voter, and unleashing her even more than she was on the national press. So, you know, that's going to be a lot of headlines, and it's not the best way to go out recruiting staff if she does indeed have that kind of ambition. It's also not the kind of politics and political leadership that I think voters respond to.
This may be the biggest question of them all here. I mean, do we expect a book tour? And if there's a book tour, wouldn't she have to agree to a couple of non-cooked interviews in order to promote her book?
Well, there is that danger. I suspect the real risk of a book tour, having done them myself, is that they're grueling, exhausting, and Sarah Palin may just find that the best way she can do a book tour and support the troops is to stay at home.
Both Amazon and HarperCollins say they do not know who is pre-ordering the book. Is there a possibility, and we've seen this occasion on the publication of right-wing books, that right-wing sites are buying the book up and will offer it at some discount or for free, in part at least to put her and keep her at the top of the bestseller lists?
Well, let's set the New York Times list to one side, but, I'm going to reveal a little secret here that those Amazon lists especially are easily manipulatable. And, in fact, that's not my statement being some twisted book author. There is a respected economist who works out of the White House by the name of Austin Goolsbee. He actually wrote a paper, an economics academic paper about this. They tested it and showed that there was no feasible algorithm for how those numbers are calculated. I'm sure her book will do very well. Whether it's really #1, how much they're really selling, we'll have to wait until the actual audits are done and the publishers have done their tally.
And last point here, is there a chance that this is the fabled new career, or has that not yet been revealed to all of us?
All will be revealed in a tweet. Don't worry. And then she'll collect them all up, and we can go buy that book too.
That's right. Tweets, also known as the fortunes in fortune cookies. Richard Wolff of MSNBC, author of Renegade, also a senior strategist at Public Strategies. Great thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Keith.